Roncato, the ergonomics scientist here at the Skunkworks lab with the new Impact M4 by FX. So let's take a look at some of the features. We have an M3 here to compare it to and an M4. First thing you'll notice is that it's available in a copper color. In fact, that's what it's called, copper. And the one difference between the M3 and the M4, this copper color, they had something similar called bronze, but it was only this part here that was bronze. These were black and this was black. Well, now you basically most, if not all of the gun is black. This is, copper. This is copper now, and this is copper. So that's kind of cool. A lot of people like that. Kind of cool thing to see. Another thing is they've changed the buttstock area. Now, this is the old buttstock, and when you wanted to change the air probe for different calibers or maybe go to a pin probe for a slug, you kind of had to just get it in there, pull out the screw, kind of monkey around with it. It's a lot easier with the new one. It's a nice big slot. Okay, kind of cool, huh? So that larger slot is for easy probe swapping. They've upgraded the magazine slightly. This will work in the M3, and the M3s will work in the M4, so they're totally swappable. What they did, basically, they didn't change the thickness of the magazine, but they did change the cover and scooped it out so that it would take a slightly larger slug. Now, this is really important for you slug people. For you pellet guys, it's not going to make a hill of beans difference, but for the slugs that are trying to always get the biggest slug that fits in a magazine, this will help you out a few extra grains there. So, but they still work identically to the older magazines. Okay, what else do we have? Well, the plenum has changed from a 72 cc to a 75, hence the 720 and the 750 numbers. 72 to 75 cc's will not really be a whole lot noticeable for you 22 and 30 caliber guys or under. It's really going to be for the 35, and if you're shooting slugs, that's where you really start needing the air. Right now, the Mark IIIs are shooting superb in every caliber. Probably 35 is where you'd need that extra size. So it's kind of good to have. Never hurts to have too much power, right, guys? Another thing they did was they made the platform a little bit more rigid. Now, how they did that is this old flat piece of metal was replaced with basically an I-beam, which is really an 11 millimeter dovetail rail. So this adds a lot of rigidity to it. And if you notice, the old rail used to come to here, or the old flat top, I should say. This new flat top with the stronger dovetail goes past here, actually out to here. And that's because this dovetail is what this is mounted to. You can slide this backwards and forwards. So if you need a little extra eye relief or a little bit less eye relief, we can now move this back. That also allows you to put an optic back here, such as a night sight of some time, in between the shooter and your scope. In addition, that frees up these from moving back and forth, so these don't move. These are still mounted here. So that's kind of cool. And let's see what else. 30 MOA, 30 minutes of that angle on the new scope rail. I think the original was 20, so that's kind of cool. A little extra distance there. These are removable, these side plates, these Picatinny side plates. Oh, here's a big one. Now you may like this, especially if you're into PRS shooting or just not. Now it is held back magnetically in the back position. Sometimes the bolt would flop forward with that magnet. She stays there. It's kind of cool. So we like that. I like that. Decocker. Then another thing is it's a little bit more comfortable grip for some people. This is a little bit more vertical, has the scoop for your hand so that when you're holding it, better. It's ergonomics. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, go back to the old one. But you can see that here. Let's see if we can do the difference here. You can see it's a little bit more vertical, a little bit more swelled at the bottom, a little bit more scooped at the top versus the M3 on top. So that's kind of cool. The new thing, though, that is kind of cool, the trigger is now called the QST, the Quick Set Trigger. And with that, you can basically change this into 3 different triggers. You get your standard FX trigger, which is a superb trigger. You can get what's called the Hunter trigger, or you can set it to the target trigger. And all of those are through some adjustments in here. with just a couple of set screws. So if you're into changing it, change it. If you want, have your dealer do it. I thought that could be interesting. Another thing they did, they really found out that for other than a sub 12 foot-pound gun, they didn't need the second regulator. This regulator can handle any pressure swing that you're going to put into it. So they're like, you know what? Let's just delete that. That's one thing that we can take out, and let's get rid of a failure point too, I guess. But anything less is always better. Just keep it simple. The last thing that's mentioned is the suppressor. It's not going to make a hill of beans difference from the older suppressor. It's just now it's one piece, and it looks a little cool with the 4 holes in it, but that's about it. We still have the Donnie FLs and the Quiet Airs and all the other brands that are out there that really work well. These are okay in maybe 22, but you want to upgrade. So that's it. Same price. So come on in. We've got them in stock. This is Joe Brancato, the Airgun Scientist, saying take care, God bless, and safe shooting.